There's a place in Mexico once known as the Disneyland of Latin America. Reino Magico opened in 1988 as a bright, family-friendly theme park meant to bring joy to visitors from across the region. But just a few years later, it shut down. And that's where things start to get strange. Several fatal accidents had reportedly taken place on the property, and although no official reason was ever confirmed, many believe the closure was tied to the growing number of disturbing paranormal claims surrounding the park. What makes it even more unsettling is the location itself. The park was built directly over an old cemetery. Today, urban explorers who wander through the abandoned ruins already feel uneasy knowing what lies beneath them, but it's not just the ground that frightens people. It's what may still be there. One rumor stands out above the rest. A Snow White statue inside the park is said to be haunted. Some visitors have claimed it appears in different locations, as if it moves on its own when no one is watching. At first, it sounds like nothing more than an urban legend, but when a group of friends decided to explore the park themselves, they captured something that's hard to explain.
Bueno, tú tienes tu luz. ¿Sí?
Güey, ese es el velador de...
Es el velador, ¿no? ¿Velador? ¡Ey! ¡Velador!
Aguanta, espérate, ey. Shh, no te muevas. No mames, no te muevas ahí. Güey.
¿Velador?
Ese no es el velador, güey.
Güey, no es el velador.
No.
¿Tú pensabas que era el velador?
No, aguanta. Deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, Deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, güey. Eso no es el velador. No digas perras mamadas, güey. Perdón. Güey, ¿fue aquí? No digas mamadas, güey. Miren. No digas mamadas, güey.
Yo la vi moverse.
No, Dios. No. No, güey, no mames.
¿Qué fue eso, güey?
No sé.
No mames, güey. No mames.
¿Crees que haya sido ella?
Güey, nos estamos metiendo más adentro del reino mágico. Banda, comparte.
No mames, güey, no mames.
In their footage, a figure can be seen standing completely still inside the park. There's something unnatural about it. As they look closer, they realize the figure is wearing a dress identical to the Snow White statue. Moments later, they find the actual statue nearby. But now the dress on it looks exactly like the one worn by the figure they had just seen. Same color, same shape, same eerie presence. So what did they really capture? Was it just someone wandering through the ruins? Or something far more unsettling? Eyetight all begins with a sudden alarm going off inside a quiet home, forcing two sisters to lock themselves in a room.
I'm recording. Wait. Do you hear that?
Unsure of what's happening outside, their first thought, someone had broken in. When they later check the security footage, it only deepens the mystery. The front door is shown slowly opening, but there's no one there. No figure, no movement, just the door unlocking and swinging open completely on its own. At the time, they didn't witness this. All they knew was that the door was suddenly wide open. To make things even more unsettling, a police siren can be heard somewhere outside, adding to the tension, but that's not the worst part.
What is it?
Clear.
As they continue reviewing the footage, something else appears. Something they didn't notice before. A small, shadow-like figure rushes across the camera at an unnatural speed, gone almost as quickly as it appears. It doesn't resemble a person. No clear shape, no features, just a dark presence moving erratically before disappearing. And then there's the system itself.
The fact that it just moved so quickly,
Yeah.
but then like the motion capture camera didn't see that shape. And like when it was tracked.
At times, the camera doesn't react at all when the figure passes by. But then, in completely empty spaces, a green tracking box suddenly appears, as if something invisible is being detected. This had never happened before. Everything seems to trace back to that moment, the door opening by itself.
Front door opening on its own.
Yeah.
That closed. We closed that door.
And I mean, this house is like brand new. Like it's not old or like anything.
Yeah.
So, what really entered that house that night? A glitch? A misunderstanding? Or something they were never supposed to see? The first clip starts off like any typical exploration video. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming. Just a YouTuber known as Exploring Abandoned Mines and Unusual Places, heading into an old mine to test out a flashlight. He walks viewers through the entrance, explaining the different brightness levels while navigating deeper inside. Everything feels calm and controlled, like a standard gear review in a quiet abandoned location. But then, something changes. As he continues talking, a strange sound cuts through the silence. At first he assumes it's just wind moving through the tunnels. That would make sense in a place like this. But the more you listen, the less it sounds like wind, and the more it starts to resemble something else entirely, like faint whispering.
Okay, this is a review and demonstration of the ThruNite TN12 handheld flashlight that you see here. Okay, that's the portal to the Waldeck mine. I'm inside. The wind has kind of died down a little bit and it's not raining, so I managed to stay dry. Of course, I'm inside this little alcove kind of, but anyway, you come down this little incline path and then big boulders here you have to climb over, and then the tunnel's right behind me this way. So let's check it out. Let's get in here. And like I said, this light has 5 levels. I believe it's on medium right now, which is level 3. So this would be high, and this would be turbo, which is really bright. And then this is Firefly, which is hardly anything. And then that would be low, and then medium. Medium seems to be the best one. Not too bright, not too dim. And then you can see how big these timbers are. That's about almost a foot in diameter, the big cross timbers. So they had to put big ones in here to hold up all of this rock. And you can see right here where some of these boards are bending. Do you hear that? Sounds like
He pauses. You can hear it again. This time, even he's unsure.
what is that, wind? I don't know if you can hear that on the camera. Do you hear that? It stopped. Well, I don't know what that is. That doesn't sound like wind, but that's crazy. Don't know if that's a bird or I don't know what that is. It almost sounds like snakes, but
The sound doesn't match anything he's familiar with. Not wind, not animals. Something about it feels off, almost like voices echoing from deeper inside the mine. You can hear the hesitation in his voice as he tries to rationalize it, but the uneasiness is clear.
Wow. I've heard some weird stuff in mines, but that is definitely creepy. I don't know what that is. So let's get out of here and head back out to the portal. That was weird.
Eventually, he decides not to stick around any longer. Whatever that sound was, it was enough to make him leave. And listening back to it now, it raises a chilling question. Was it really just the wind? Or was something else down there with him? As the moment unfolds, one of the bikers slowly turns his head and instantly freezes. He's not the only one who notices it. Off in the distance, something stands completely still, watching them. A tall, dark figure draped in long robes, almost blending into the surroundings. It doesn't move at first. It just stands there in silence, locked onto them. Then suddenly, it lets out a scream. At first, it almost resembles the cry of a fox, but there's something off about it, something unnatural. That's all it takes. Both bikers panic and immediately take off, pedaling as fast as they can, desperate to put as much distance between themselves and whatever they just saw. The footage doesn't last much longer. It cuts out abruptly, as if the camera was dropped during their escape. Whether it was accidental or left behind in fear, no one really knows. But what was captured is enough to leave people unsettled. If you pause at the right moment, you can make out the figure's face. Gray, almost blank, and disturbingly inhuman. So what exactly was standing out there in the woods that day? Was it someone in disguise? Something paranormal? Or something far worse? The next clip takes us to an abandoned asylum in Brazil, explored by TikTok user Natalia Valente on April 3rd, 2021. What started as a casual visit with friends and family quickly turned into something far more unsettling. The exploration was split into several parts, but only one segment captured something that viewers couldn't explain.
Parte 3 da ala rosa, que é a pior ala que tem. Gente, quanto barro no chão. Aqui é a lavagem de roupa. A gente tá indo pros outros lados, que é bem escondido da ala rosa. Que é onde o povo ficava, tipo, real presaço. Bom, a gente tá indo agora pro necrotério. Eu tô, tipo... Agora eu tô com medo. Agora eu tô com medo, amiga. Não, tô super bem. Olha isso. Gente, essa parte aqui, por incrível que me pareça, eu achei bem bonita. Eu tiraria uma foto aqui tranquilamente. E aqui é o necrotério. Tipo...
While filming near one of the locked buildings, the camera briefly points toward a set of windows, and that's when it appears. Inside, barely noticeable at first, are pale figures standing motionless in the darkness. They don't move, they don't react, they just stand there, staring straight ahead at nothing. What's even more chilling is that no one in the group seemed to notice them at the time. It's only when you go back and rewatch the footage that they become clear. So what were they looking at? Some believe these could be spirits, remnants of those who once lived within those walls. And the way they stand there, frozen in place, almost feels like they're still trapped, long after the asylum was abandoned.